Attention! The movie guys love movies. Any comments made about a young girl with a psychotic mother who seeks revenge in the world by destroying all the beautiful people around her are purely for entertainment purposes only. Isn't that right, Melissa Rivers?
Can we talk?
Once again, we pulled a fast one. Thought we were going to Carrie. See what we did?
See what you did there?
And we went to Joan Rivers.
Sometimes we zig when you think we're going to zag.
You know that Joan Rivers does not like it when you pick on Melissa. She is a tiger mom.
Is that right?
Yeah. She will find us.
I have to admit, I've found her stand-up funny in the past, but her whole reality TV career, completely oblivious. I have no idea what's going on with
And
her.
when you learn more about where she came from and her career, I mean, it really was
Pretty impressive.
very impressive and a real seminal female comedian. And
I hear the documentary on her is awesome.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There is one out there.
That one and the Rickles one, I got to get out and see. I haven't seen.
Hey there,
either.
hockey puck.
Yeah.
I wish I was born in Hollywood during a time where, hey there, hockey puck made your career.
Yeah, and that was
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was enough?
Red Skelton's School of Funny Walks. Didn't he do like walking upstairs? That was an hour-long bit that he had.
We'd be like the last guy to still do like an old hobo clown. And that was enough. Now hobo clown is strictly the circus.
What was the pelican he used to do?
He used to do a pelican?
Or a seagull. He did a seagull. That was his character, Red Skelton Seagull.
I don't know.
Seymour or something. Well, somebody write in.
Yes. we'll do the old movie show here at some point. But right now, it's the movie Showcast, part of the vast and sprawling Movie Guys empire, and you are tuned into that. I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what? You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with rants, sketches, previews, characters, jokes, bits, special guests, and more. You can expect that in the next hour or so as we broadcast from the Admirals Club in the heart of Burbank Airport's flyover zone. Catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and if you want to see the sausage being made, we're up on YouTube as well. Search the Movie Showcast or the Movie Guys, and we come right up. And don't forget, we're also available on badtomato.fm, Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you like what you hear on the Showcast, please subscribe, tell your friends, share, and like posts and videos and all that stuff at the Movie Guys on Twitter and on Facebook and YouTube, wherever you find us. Now, my name is Paul Preston. I'm your host, here as ever with Lee Caius and Karen Volpe. Later in the show, director and musician Robin Mountjoy will be joining us. And Steve Guttenberg will call in.
Goots.
It's very
The
cool.
Goots. We don't call them the Goots, do we?
Why not?
We do now.
Is it the Goot or the Goots?
I call them the glutes.
The glutes.
Of course, we are attracted. That's the thing.
I'm just saying.
I call them the pelvis. What is that?
Oh, that's a poster for Bad
Bad
Medicine. So,
Medicine.
Steve Guttenberg, you're welcome. This will be our first phone call in the Admirals Club. We've rigged that here recently, and our first big-time celebrity, so we're excited to talk to him. Plus, another big special guest at the end of the show, so that's going to be cool. And sitting in this week with full microphone capabilities is Jamie Clark-Yelvington.
Hey!
Hi.
What's it like to be on this side of the wall?
It sounds so different. I can't believe
You're closer to the sausage being made.
Oh, my
Isn't
God.
it frightening?
Hey, you know, Jamie is the voice in the back of the Admirals Club, making sense of everything we say and correcting us as necessary and required. Now she's sitting in for the whole show as Adam continues to recover from back surgery. Now, what is opening this weekend in theaters, we'll tell you as we do every week with our signature movie previews. First up, however, will Matthew McConaughey get out of his date with Reese Witherspoon in The Escape Plan?
Oh, wait. No, Paul, that's not right.
What's that?
No, that's not right. That's a romantic comedy. It's going to be in development in 2015.
Oh, again, you are right, Jamie.
All right.
You are good. That's why we have you here. Escape Plan, without the "the."
Is that the difference?
That's the whole
Yeah.
difference.
The
Escape Plan is a romantic
See,
comedy.
I thought the Escape Plan starring Matthew McConaughey was about how he gets out of his shirt.
He doesn't need a plan. He got
yeah,
No.
exactly.
There's plenty of people that will assist him in that.
Yeah, he wakes up and goes to bed without a shirt. It's in the tough parts of putting one on. Anyway, this Escape Plan
There's a whole
is...
movie called Captured where he wakes up with a shirt on. He doesn't know how the hell do I get this off.
This is
Man
a
with
prison
one
break
red
film,
shirt.
Escape Plan. Okay, with Stallone and Schwarzenegger. Plus, the weekend brings us a political drama ripped from today's internet headlines, so you know it's true. The Fifth Estate. And later in the show...
Pick you up after school.
The other kids, they think I'm weird.
Carrie, favorite poem? Did you bring one?
I don't want to be. I want to be normal.
Wipe that smile off your face.
I have to try and be a whole person before it's too late.
And we all know what happens when it's too late.
You know, at the very
do we not?
beginning, it sounded like the growl from one of the gozer from
I was just about to say.
Ghostbusters, right? It's like
Full disclosure, that was the MGM lion
oh,
at the beginning of the trailer.
that's why it sounds like Ghostbusters.
Wait, is that what that was?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was the sound effects from the movies
too.
of like her being possessed.
No.
Who brought the dog?
Who brought the dog?
It's the beginning of the trailer
Sounds
before
like a
she's
lion.
possessed.
Some idiot brought a cougar to a party and it went nuts.
How many people do you think go into this movie not knowing the story of Carrie?
I hope
it's,
a lot.
It's
I haven't
been
seen
30 plus years. I mean, now there's got to be a whole bunch of people who don't know.
Well,
right?
there was a remake in the early 2000s. I think they already did it once,
Jamie.
and then there was
There it is.
Carrie 2, The Rage.
Yeah.
that was like
Say the
the new. It's like a new Carrie.
Can you tell me the name of the actress who starred in that?
Which one? The first or the second?
Rage Carrie 2?
Putting the
Carrie-
woman right on the spot, right
Well,
at
I'll
the
tell you
very
this.
first
Whoever
time.
she was, I saw her on Broadway in a production of The Lion in Winter,
Oh, yeah?
and she was great.
Emily Bergel?
That's it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, well, I think that's it. Yeah.
I had to dig deep.
No
That was
phone, no
good.
nothing. They
Nothing.
pulled that out of nowhere.
Full on.
And then I felt bad that the movie tanked because even if it, did modest business, she'd keep being in movies because I thought she was quite good on stage.
Is
She
that
was
the one
amazing
that
on
came
stage.
out in the mid '80s when Hollywood was playing up on the communist Red Scare and they spelled Carrie with a K backwards?
That's not it at all.
that one.
In fact, that
What?
never happened
That never happened.
at all.
That happened in your creepy Arkansas
But
world.
remember back in the mid '80s, like there was always some communist slant to everything.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, there was a
absolutely.
movie with like all the brothers of famous people that had that K thing in it.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it called?
Spelling America with a K, are
Jamie.
we?
Maybe that was it. Maybe that
It
was
might
it.
have been
America?
America,
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah, it was like one of the Baldwins, but not Alec.
I'm gonna find
And
this out by
I
the
have
end.
some-
So
Something
how
like
many
that.
Carries have there been?
Well, now it sounds
There's
like
actually
three.
been 3
Technically
Okay.
3
and a
a
sequel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
Crying out loud.
3 and a sequel. That's
One
4?
was a TV, I think, made for TV.
I think it was.
okay.
I auditioned for Carrie the Musical.
Did you?
Yeah, I haven't seen much about it after that. I don't know if they're still doing it out
Did you
here.
go to like an audition and it was just a room full of women with red paint all over their heads,
Yeah, they
just
all
sitting
were
around
just
waiting?
dripping. It was interesting. I was auditioning for the Crazy Mother, so
Oh.
well, that was interesting.
Who played the crazy mother?
in the original.
Yeah.
Piper Laurie.
That's true.
Man, you are on fire, Jamie.
Fire! She's a crazy woman. She prepared. She
All
was
right, let's,
outside
let's-
looking at IMDb
Yeah,
before the
exactly.
show. Just
Let's end this
memorizing.
tomfoolery. We have
All right.
entirely new tomfoolery to engage in.
good.
As we preview our first film of the upcoming weekend. Enough of your mumbling, Vin Diesel. Let the old master show you how to be indecipherable.
To show them how this rose discos.
I hope that when he was governor, at some point he had to say that.
Do it again, do it again, do it again.
You want to hear that again?
Yeah, it's great.
To show them how this rose discos.
Hey, okay, wait. Let's do this. Let's pretend we're having a budget meeting, and I'm one of the people going, Mr. Schwarzenegger, can you explain to me how we can budget to keep our schools open for the fiscal year?
Well, I'm going to open the floor to both Sylvester Stallone
Yes.
and Arnold Schwarzenegger
Okay.
and Vin Diesel to respond to that. Because Sylvester Stallone, who are you?
To show them how this rose discos.
I think that everyone would vote on that. It would definitely pass.
Let's talk about escape plan. Karen? Well, here's a movie that looks like itself. Escape Plan brings together the 80s action dream team of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Or, for the younger demographic, it teams up the star of The Expendables and the former governor of California.
In Escape Plan, Sylvester Stallone plays Breslin, an expert at breaking out of jail who's falsely imprisoned. Is there any other kind of imprisonment?
Not anymore. Not in films.
Falsely.
Breslin meets up with another man in prison, Emil Rottmeier, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who can help him. Yes, Hollywood would like you to buy Arnold Schwarzenegger as a guy named Emil. This much hasn't been asked of us since Stallone played a guy named Gabe in Cliffhanger.
So I ask you, Paul, are you Team Breslin or Team Rottmeier?
Basically, think Sneakers, except Stallone plays Robert Redford and Arnold Schwarzenegger is in the movie for some reason.
So people hire you to break into their places to make sure no one can break into their places?
It's a living.
Okay. Lee wanted us to play the sneakers drop.
That is from
because
Sneakers.
that's what Robert Redford does.
Yeah, he
The
breaks
same
in.
same job.
Yes, exactly.
And I-
Sneakers is about breaking into prisons
That's
and
great.
stuff to prove that they can be broken into, and that's what Stallone does, right?
And I got to break from the script for just a second to say that is a fantastic movie.
That's a great
sure
movie.
is.
Sneakers, if you're out there and
Yeah.
you've never seen it, Redford is making that look so easy in that movie.
And what's his name is in it?
River Phoenix,
River Phoenix.
Dan Aykroyd,
Dan Aykroyd.
Sidney
Yeah.
Poitier,
He plays Mother, yeah.
Murray McDonald,
Yeah.
David Strathairn.
That was one of those movies that my
Yes.
that my dad and I could actually go and watch together. He just loved it. I loved it. It was such a good movie.
Yeah, that's really good.
It was really good.
It was from Phil Alden Robinson who made Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's a great movie too.
Then he made Some of All Fears, and I really haven't heard much of him since. It's
Maybe.
a shame because those first two movies were fantastic. Of his. So basically, in this film, Wesley Snipes shows up at one point too.
Does he?
Paul, actually, he's not in this cast, Paul.
Oh well, I figured it took place in a prison, so
So, how do you imprison a guy who's an expert at breaking out of prisons? Here's how. Stick him in a futuristic super prison that looks like it was designed by M.C. Escher, with a budget negotiated by Halliburton and staffed entirely by robot soldier things that look like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
yes, the poster shows Stallone and Schwarzenegger totally defeated in what looks like an abandoned Hollywood Square set. Circle gets the square.
And if you don't already have your suspension of disbelief set to 10 for a movie about two white people in prison, crank it up higher, because it's also about how two 60-year-olds escape from prison.
The prison is so futuristic that even the anal rape is delivered according to graphs and charts by methodical robots.
So this film's title better kick some ass, or sound like it does when it's said by a tough, low-pitched voice.
Escape plan. Yeah, that'll work.
There you go. Escape plan.
Escape plan.
Yeah, it doesn't work when I say it. Escape plan. I'm going to see escape plan.
Doesn't work when anybody says it. You have to modify the voice to make it sound badass.
I think the biggest disappointment about this movie is that it is going to once again skirt the age-old debate: can Cobra kick Commando's ass?
Okay. I originally went with Rocky. It took me a second because
Okay.
we
Cobretti.
mentioned Snake Eyes, so I'm
Yeah.
like Cobra. Okay, is he
Cobra.
still doing GI Joe references?
Cobretti, right? Marion Cobretti.
In the world of those movies battle, like
Yes.
take those two movies, who wins?
I don't know, but this is actually a question I heard one guy very seriously ask his friend at a video rental store in the late 80s.
Of course you did.
No way, Cobra could totally kick Commando's ass. And they were serious about this argument.
That's so great. in
I
many
did the body
ways.
count for Commando once. I was watching it at HBO. It's like before some barracks get exploded by Schwarzenegger, he's up to about 70. Wow. Just taking guys out. And good guys getting taken out too by bad guys. But just the body count itself, he's up to around 70. That may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot.
That's a lot. No, that's an entire graduating class from my high school.
To put that into today's perspective, that's an entire school shooting.
Yeah,
That's what it
that's
is.
what I'm saying.
Well done, Arnold.
Crazy time.
Nice work.
All right.
Lord.
Dear Lord, oh my God.
But I'll see this. I'll see it.
You know the joke about it looking like the set from the Hollywood Squares? It's so true. It really is all glass and fiberglass, and the big X gets the square. It's there.
Yeah.
And this is another trailer that I have no idea. It took me 3 trailers to figure out what the movie was really about.
That's good.
Because I thought it was about him just escaping from a prison, but it turns out him escaping from a prison that he built, and it's a setup, and it's not quite, and then he's somehow framed or double-crossed.
And he actually has to escape.
And
so he's not doing his job
Yes.
anymore. So yeah,
and then the check bounces, and it's,
I think it's only about them being in a movie together.
Oh,
That's the only thing
Yeah.
that matters.
Yeah.
I just hope that they keep it up. There's all these repairings that make me so happy.
Has this never happened before?
The other Robert De Niro trailer that's out right now is the one with, or the other Sylvester Stallone one is the one with Robert De Niro,
Yeah.
Right.
where they're boxing each other, Jake LaMotta and Rocky, and they're it's all these. I hope there's a Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito movie coming out again. or
Triplets is
something.
announced.
Really?
It's
Are you
announced.
serious?
Yeah, Triplets. That's
See?
announced.
I like the way
Triplets,
Jamie
twin
thinks
sequel.
because this makes me very excited for another
It's a tweakle.
It's only announced. It's only announced.
another Hugh Grant, Colin Firth match up because I have not had those two men on screen together in a couple of years, and I need that to happen.
2 hours of them sitting around sipping tea.
I would love it. I don't think that they're going to do it anytime soon with the new Bridget Jones 3 that she just wrote, which is also sad because they killed off Colin Firth. What kind of idiot would do that?
Darcy's dead.
Please.
And is there
Are you serious?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Are you just finding this out?
Yeah, that's how it starts. So it's not like you would
You're
read
kidding.
it. Yeah, it
Bridget's-
starts where she's widowed. Ridiculous. Why would you do that? You need that man on screen.
There was backlash.
Right?
No Mark Darcy.
Oh.
I've lost the will to live.
A little bit of me died.
I don't even know what to say.
I'm sorry.
That's awful.
It's horrible.
They should have just killed Bridget Jones if that's what they were
Exactly.
gonna
If you're not going to have those two kicking at each other, I love that part when they fight and they go in the
Dare
fight.
you.
They kick. Oh, they're so great. That's what this movie reminds me of, is how much I like Bridget Jones' Diary.
That's very strange. That's very strange. But speaking of pairings, I'll say this one real quick, too. Friend of the show, Fred Mowry, posted a picture of, I don't know where it was taken, some event where Kurt Russell and Jeff Bridges had their arms around each other like, hey, taking a great picture. Those two guys should be in a movie together.
Yeah,
Kurt Russell should be in anything, basically. It's been like 4 years since he was in something.
The dude in Snake Plissken.
That'd be great.
Yes.
That'd be great.
I would see that. That would be a pairing I would want to see. But anyway, we got another movie to get to. Also opening is something that looks like a surefire December release that would align itself for award season, The Fifth Estate. I don't know what that was. Yet here it is in October, which brings about the question, what's wrong with it? Lee? The Fifth Estate is the true story of the fifth palatial property owned by Mitt Romney.
Actually, Paul, TED Talks, the movie, tells the story of how Julian Assange made headlines by reposting classified government video documents and emails online.
Oh, it's the dream the BuzzFeed guys have when they go to sleep while watching James Bond movies.
If you want the version of the script that's been released online without DreamWorks permission, you can go to, well, WikiLeaks.com. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
That's true.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said, screw you. I guess he's not a fan of the movie. But Assange was the Steve Jobs of scaring the shit out of secretive regimes.
Steve Jobs was the Steve Jobs of scaring the shit out of secret.
But Assange released thousands of documents that revealed such entrenched secrets as governments lie, governments spy, governments kill innocent people, governments refuse to give up power,
Shaking my
and
head.
fish live in water.
Assange pissed off the government for spying on them, causing them to sue him for copyright infringement because spying on people, that's their job.
Whoa.
The Fifth Estate is a term describing people within a society who do not belong to one of the other three estates established in 18th century French regimes, those being clergy, nobility, and commoners. Later, the press was deemed the Fourth Estate. The Fifth Estate term is usually, but not always, given to subversives in society, people like Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, and Regis Philbin.
Like Regis.
He's a big subversive. Interestingly enough, though, nowhere in the trailer do the words "based on a true story" appear. But fear not, this movie is indeed based on a book.
Now, it seems like Khan has found himself in the middle of another shitstorm, as Julian Assange is played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Lump, beef broth. Touch, rust rod.
Reef, blast body. Big, McLarge, huge. Smoke, man muscle.
Yes, one of the whitest historical figures is perfectly portrayed by one of the whitest talents working in Hollywood today.
But in playing Assange, this virtually guarantees no one will ever make fun of the name Benedict Cumberbatch again.
The film also stars Laura Linney, whose father was prominent playwright Romulus Linney.
What does her father have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Nothing, actually. I just thought it would be fun to say Romulus.
That is great.
Was it fun?
It's a good name.
Very much indeed.
Romulus.
All right. Well, since the movie features a lot of people working on computers, you can expect a lot of shots where what they're reading on the computer screen is projected onto their faces, which, of course, computers only do in movies.
Otherwise, there'd be a lot of embarrassed mothers in the world. Boy, what are you doing over there? The chore of making uploading things to the internet exciting falls on Bill Condon. Last seen tackling the impossible task of making Kristen Stewart's acting interesting in Twilight Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2.
Didn't work.
The good news is, when you buy your ticket, you will get a QR code, which lets you get a copy of every document released through WikiLeaks. The bad news is, it's all on microfiche.
More bad news, Paul. The Sixth Estate is comprised of Candy Crush and Angry Birds.
Oh, there you go. That is bad news.
Candy Crush.
America. beeping. I think we're being recorded again.
bet.
Remember this happened when we talked about The Family?
Yes, the
We had that
mafia
guy in
thing.
here who was blowing the lid on films that were in
CineLeaks
witness
guy.
protection. The
CineLeaks
CineLeaks guy.
CineLeaks guy, yeah. He was shifty. He was. Did you swept the studio for bugs?
I have not, so perhaps we are being.
That could have been one of them.
Hey, that was a horrible joke, but
hey, Karen, look under the table. You're not
Wait.
falling for that again, are you?
I'm not going to fall for that. But I do know that Paul swept the room for bugs when he was chasing that cricket with that pole.
Yeah, it's true.
And if the CineLeaks guy
He's probably
was
here
smart,
today.
he would have attached one of the bugs to the cricket. You'll never get him.
You'll never find him.
Cricket's not going anywhere.
Maybe that's really what it is.
That's got to be it. I'm sorry I laughed super a lot, but I never read anything I'm not going to say so that I don't, I get surprised along with the audience. Holy shitballs when Lee said that so many moms were embarrassed because they could see the projected image on their kid's face. All I could picture is just all those kids jacking off with like titties and boobies and vagina on their face.
Thank you for explaining the joke, honey. That's the joke.
I know, but it just visually my brain just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in so many ways.
I'm
So
glad
did
I could
those
bring
kids,
that to
probably.
you.
Apparently.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
I have no interest in this film, by the way.
No. I have an interest
really.
in the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch kind of looks like an albino. I like that.
And I actually do want to thank this movie for finally pointing out to me who Benedict Cumberbatch really is.
He's great in August Osage.
What was he in the other thing we were making fun of?
Well, he was in Star Trek. He played Khan.
Oh, he was Khan?
Yeah. He's a chameleon, dude.
He's amazing.
Wait until August Osage comes out. He's great.
But
Yeah.
wasn't he in a British movie that we were talking about?
The Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. He was in that.
He was in War Horse.
Okay.
Was he? Oh, he
No.
was. Was he?
Uh-oh. We don't have Jamie to
Wait.
fix.
Jamie get one wrong, and it's
Jamie,
on
ask
tape.
yourself.
Yes. No,
Jamie-
that is correct.
Jamie, check with
Here's
yourself.
the thing. There's 3 of them right now that can do nothing wrong.
Uh-oh.
They're
really?
kind of all the same guy.
Okay.
It's
who?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
It's Tom Hiddleston.
Uh-oh. Who's that?
Loki.
And it's Michael Fassbender.
Yes. I'll give you that.
And then all these movies come out where it's like variations of combinations of them. Like 12 Years a Slave is Michael Fassbender and Benedict Cumberbatch. So War Horse was Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Hiddleston, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, they all
Hiddleston was definitely in War Horse.
do
You could
things.
make-
I'm
I don't
pretty sure.
know
I'm
from
pretty sure they both
Cumberbatch.
were.
I think our audience would benefit from a chart, and maybe you could chart that out for us so I can see how they overlap.
Our audience and me.
And me, yes, I need a flow chart.
They do. They do. Or they
And
overlap.
I'd like pictures of them on there with no shirts on.
They mainly overlap in my dreams.
I think that you have excellent dreams.
But it is
Yes.
true. There is in the trailer. They don't talk about based on a true story. They don't say. They don't do that in the trailer. They don't make that.
Maybe they're covering their ass because.
Or is it just so obvious? Like, yeah, duh.
Do they even say WikiLeaks in the trailer?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to make sure that they don't get sued. I mean, this is such a hot topic right now.
What's Assange going to do? Come out from his closet in Denmark or wherever he is
Yeah,
and make a
that's
fuss?
That's true.
He actually has denounced the film.
Oh.
That's why I put the script on WikiLeaks. He's like, screw you guys.
What a
I'm
dick.
going home.
I am happy to see Laura Linney though.
I like Laura Linney.
I do too.
Really
I'll see her in
enjoy
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'll see the crap out of her.
Yeah,
She
she's
was
great.
so good in that movie where she had the mentally challenged brother.
Love Actually.
Was that Love Actually?
Yes.
No, and he wasn't mentally challenged. Are you thinking Mark Ruffalo in what was that movie they were in together?
You Can Always Count on Me.
You can always
That's
count
the
on
one.
me.
You can always count on me.
He wasn't
Yeah.
mentally
Or You Can Count on
challenged.
Me.
You can count on me.
You
He
can count on me.
wasn't?
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo's character? No. He was
He-
just delinquent.
She had a mentally challenged brother in Love Actually, remember?
Maybe
'Cause
that's
she gets
it.
Carl back to her place.
Oh,
and
that's
it's the
what I'm
big
thinking
night,
of. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
he calls.
And then he calls
and she
and she has
leaves
to go.
Carl.
Yeah.
We
I
get an
like-
extra girl on the show, and
That's
we've
what I'm thinking
derailed
of.
into Bridget Jones and Love Actually a
Thank
couple of
God.
times.
It's about time.
That's countered all the
people.
escape plan talk.
On behalf of the movie guys, I would like to apologize to Mark Ruffalo for Karen suggesting that perhaps he played a mentally challenged.
The friend
And
of
that
the
was
show.
Just Mark, friend of the show.
No, I
Mark
was
Ruffalo.
thinking of the guy who's the mentally challenged guy. I wasn't thinking of Mark. You're the one who's putting the Mark together. You're all like, it must be Mark Ruffalo if somebody's challenged. It was that guy.
It must be.
It's got to be the Hulk. Unbelievable. I like you as the Hulk, Mr. Ruffalo, and you can come here and take.
He was
Whoa,
one-
is he
Technically,
li-
he's Bruce Banner.
He was one of the
Oh,
best
that's right.
Hulks.
He's the best, right?
the Hulk.
He's trying to stay. He's always the Hulk, but he's always trying to stay calm.
One of the best Hulks.
He's the best Hulk.
There were like 4, so you could probably pick a best, right?
He was definitely the best.
He's
okay,
the
there
best.
you go. He was the best.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And you know why he's the best?
Bill Bixby and Mark Ruffalo.
Kind of like what she was saying, where some of her boyfriends overlap, because then you get a little of my boyfriend Robert Downey Jr. in there with the Hulk. I love their relationship.
Robert Downey Jr. is the Hulk.
No, he's Iron Man.
But I'm just thinking.
Oh.
Outside of the box.
Well, we went through that once a long time ago on the show.
My thinking? Yes.
No. enough of your thinking. So we don't need that anymore, if that's cool.
It doesn't
Now,
go
Robert Downey
well.
Jr. could play any superhero.
Yeah.
And probably be authentic about it. Except maybe Superman.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I like that little side of him that's full of himself.
Yeah, oh, he's perfect for Stark. It's the greatest thing.
I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson with Michael Keaton.
Oh, yes.
In Batman. Because I remember when he was cast, I'm like, this is the worst. This is never going to work. And he was probably one of the best Batmen.
Which is why Ben Affleck will be awesome.
He will.
Agreed.
All right, so that's the fifth
So that's
estate.
the fifth estate.
Well, as you know, we are thrilled to bring our listeners previews of what's new in theaters every week. But it occurred to us here at the Movie Guys that what really matters is what you, the viewing public, thinks. Now, sure, we're movie guys, so of course we know all sorts of smart things about movies. For example, I can tell you who wrote the screenplay that became John Carpenter's feature film debut, Dark Star. The answer is future Alien screenwriter Dan O'Bannon, who wrote Return of the Living Dead. Duh. So Jamie and Jamie knows movie news. For example, why is Lee Daniels the butler not just called the butler?
There was a 1980 silent movie of the
Called
same
The Butler?
title.
Oh, right. There you go. So there was a lawsuit.
Oh my God.
Lee can recite the most banal and arcane movie lines from really unpopular movies.
Can I speak to the drug dealer of the house, please?
And Karen knows way too much about Bill Murray.
Bill Murray has 6 sons, and one of them is named Homer, and I think that's amazingly cute.
All right, stop. Now, the point is that despite our pedigrees, more often than not, the real insight and analysis is offered not by self-professed movie aficionados like us, but by you, the real moviegoer. And that's why we'd like to take a moment to read you some of our previews from this week's movies. These are not made up by us, I should say, in a segment we're calling the YouTube Movie Review. Now here's where we check out the comments you've posted after watching the trailers on YouTube. You're smart, observant, and articulate, so let's see what you had to say about this week's upcoming releases, Escape Plan and The Fifth Estate. We'll start with Escape Plan. Let's start with, and again, these are all real people and real comments, Vicente Lopez, who said, awesome about Escape Plan. At last, an action movie that doesn't involve terrorists, aliens, or monsters.
I kind of agree with him.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Jay English says, why do I get a boner looking at her?
Who's he talking about?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Wait, Escape Plan?
Escape
That was an
Plan?
Escape Plan?
It's what he just thought about and decided
You know
to
what?
type
That makes
underneath.
sense because it's a prison drama, right?
I don't want to know what's being reflected on his face when he's at the computer.
All right. Well, here we go. Pigsy Sire Bully says, they are and look like 2 geriatrics, although the surgery on their face is made them look almost like a different person. They don't need the money. Why are they doing this? Let's hope it's successful. Elderly people need action. Heroes also.
Pigsy Sire Bully, not so big on the...
You know how hard it is to
Punctuation.
not fix that sentence?
Grammatically,
Oh my
yes.
goodness. He has question marks just willy-nilly throughout the sentence whenever.
You know, at the time he took to probably put that sentence together, I'm sure he would want proper recognition for it. So I should say, I think his name is Pigsy Cyberbully, and that's a typo on my behalf.
Oh, you did not put the B in there.
In my 10-page script, that's my typo, as opposed to Pigsy Cyberbully and the 10 or 12 typos in his 3 sentences.
And is he talking also? Oh, yeah, the geriatrics. He's talking about that same movie with
I love this one. Let's hope it's successful. Elderly people need action.
Need action?
Yeah.
The funny thing is his handle is that he's a cyberbully, and that's like the kind of the nicest bullying I've ever heard.
Right. And he's concerned about
But
it.
why are they doing this? I hope it's because of this.
He gives them an out.
Right.
Well, what we've
Come on,
noticed, what we've
guys.
come to know is that these reviews are usually very vitriolic and hateful and mean, and so I'm looking forward to reading Love All the People 1000, who said, looks like an even shittier version of Fortress, Christopher Lambert of Expendables, Bag of Wank.
Bag of Wank.
Bag of Wank.
Bag of Wank.
Somebody's from the UK.
Well, this
That is
guy
the
wants
greatest.
Christopher Lambert. He wants Highlander in the Expendables 3.
He loves all the people.
Love All the People 1000.
1000. Bag of Wank.
Bag of Wank.
And now, mind you, No one's seen the movie. Just always put the reminder out there.
Just based on the preview, it's a bag of wank.
All right, well, let's look at what everyone is saying about the other release we talked about, The Fifth Estate, a rather heady drama for the YouTube public to chime in about. But here's what they had to say, starting with Sean C. Mako, who said, information the world needs to know. See, that's very perceptive.
Yeah. And he spelled no correctly, so I'm
No,
gonna...
he used two.
well, I mean, he used the K version. He didn't just go N-O. John Watson said, I'm poor and can't afford to see it.
Well, he's
so
cutting to the point there.
That's a little depressing, John Watson.
Sorry, John Watson.
Ramashi1 says, go suck a dick or something.
So he saw the trailer.
And this is what he was moved to let the world know.
And you know what? Here's something I realized. Whenever you look at these trailers and you want to leave a comment, you have to log into YouTube. So this guy,
Ramoshi1,
he said, I got to tell him to suck a dick.
The world needs to know.
He had to try to put it, and he's like, shit, I got to log in. I log in. And you know how sometimes you haven't logged in a while, you can't remember your username and password. We've all been there. He's like, figures it out, and he's like, all right, good. Now I can write about sucking a dick.
That's Suck a Dick is Ramoshi1 for I'm not seeing your movie.
You know what I think happened is he went through all that, Karen,
Yeah.
and he just got so frustrated. He looked at the trailer and went, go suck a dick. I'm done.
Dick.
Go to Escape Plan.
Go to Escape Plan. The Escape Plan. I'm going to wait till 2015.
Forget this one. It gets even worse, though. The Groxt one chimed in with, Bible says this will happen. The USA falls first when judgment comes. Most Americans do not know the daughter of Babylon is the USA and is destroyed in 1 hour. May the Lord have mercy on us all.
Whoa.
Lord, throwing down some deep shit on the YouTube comments.
That's really scary.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
The Bible says the USA will be the first country to go.
It does.
How
That's,
did
Genesis.
That's the first That's the first chapter of the Bible. It says nothing about the end of the world.
Yeah, God created the heaven and the earth and all the
And
animals and the USA, but that's going to be the first to go.
And what's so great about that is the USA was an accident that people found, right? Because Columbus Day was just earlier this week. Columbus was on his way to America. He got lost. He ended up in the West Indies, right? And then eventually found his way up here and blah, blah, blah. But the words United States of America did not exist until 100 years ago. It's not
1776.
Math is hard. I'm just saying.
Our calendars for you.
I'm just. I'll have to get Howard Stern to help me with math. I'm just saying, why would this person even think that the Bible would mention any of this?
Why would he think Escape
Well, he
Plan
does explain that most Americans do not know it.
Oh, okay.
So we are most Americans, and we don't know
I
that
don't even
the
know.
USA is the daughter of Babylon and is destroyed in 1 hour.
No idea what that means.
Ramoshi1 thought the same thing, but he just whittled it down to suck a dick or something.
Well, this is what he meant when he said or something.
Now, I just want to say one
That
last
was
thing.
implied.
Yes.
The guy's comment after this whole Bible thing was someone else commented, "You can't be serious, Shirley," which just fucked up a joke, which I cannot tolerate on YouTube.
Surely you can't be serious?
And he spelled it Shirley like the name, and he said it all in the wrong order. You can't be serious, Shirley. That's not
Shirley,
the joke.
You can't be serious.
I should have got that guy's name because fuck him. So anyway.
what's the next line would be? I am, and my name's not Shirley.
Shirley, you can't be serious.
I am serious.
And my name's not
Stop
Shirley.
calling me
And
Shirley.
Stop calling me Shirley.
All right, screw the that's the YouTube reviews.
Wow, well,
there you have it.
thank
The thoughts of the
God.
people Hollywood is bending over backwards to please. Thank God they're working so hard. Now, before we get to Karen's birthdays, let's
Yes.
squeeze in a quick round of.
What did you see? What did you see this week?
I'm going to go on record that the other's theme song was so much better.
There's somebody who likes
Really?
our.
I went on record too.
There was a lobby for it to be changed.
Yeah.
There was a lobby of one, and I don't think.
It wasn't me. The one is not here.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh well, in that case, we can do it for you live.
Oh, please do.
Ready?
What
What did you see? What did you see this week? There we go.
Now we're in the mood. That's good.
Fuck all that. What'd you guys see?
Okay.
I saw 117 different titles and couldn't choose one.
Yeah. That happens.
I sat down to watch a movie this weekend, and I went into my Uverse menu, which is all screwed up. They redesigned it, and it's completely horrible user interface. And anyway, I just couldn't pick. I honestly spent probably an hour toggling through, trying to figure out, should I watch this and should I watch that? Oh, then here's this category. And
Were you willing to pay?
I was absolutely. I was
Wow.
even going to put the $6 down for the HD that I can't tell the difference.
My friend, you need a list. I have a list. That's why I have the list. I start at the top of the list. I go through and I try to figure out which one's free, and then I end up watching some really old black and white movie. But you need a list.
I should have started with free.
Have you
I
seen
didn't.
the aforementioned Return of the Living Dead or Dark Star?
No.
The Dan O'Bannon movies? There you go. Put those on your list.
Star's on
I've
your
never
list.
even heard of it. Oh, those Halloween movies?
No.
That's what I
Dark
should've-
Star's a
You should
sci-fi.
watch a Halloween movie.
Well, Return of the Living Dead is a zombie movie. So.
Paul and I saw Captain Phillips.
Aye,
How's
aye.
it?
I really liked it.
I saw the best film of the year. That is the best film of the year.
So far, because he hasn't seen August Osage County yet.
True. But, man, Captain Phillips. Paul Greengrass is one of my top 5 directors.
Great
Right
movie.
up there with Coen Brothers, Spielberg, Pixar, and Alexander Payne. And even more so maybe than some of the others because he hasn't made a bad movie yet. And I think I talked about this last week with Bloody Sunday and United 93 and the couple of the Bourne movies and Green Zone. They're all great. And this one is fantastic. He has this amazing ability to put you there, and and it's never a place you want to be. It's Iraq or on the Flight 93 or the birth of the Irish Republican Army. So, but here you're just smack dab in the middle of this Somali pirate attack on a vessel. I think you all know the story of Captain Phillips that the movie's based on, right? Where the
But they
pirates take
tell
over,
us-
and then the Navy comes and.
The Navy.
And when they show up, it's the most.
exciting.
You were gonna love it
Yeah.
because it's
The
just like
Navy
Zero
is
Dark 30.
amazing.
These dudes show up and you're like, they are gonna take. Karen was like, she
I
kept
couldn't
hitting me
deal.
like, I can't handle how much ass the Navy SEALs are gonna kick. And I don't hope I don't give it too much away, but they're not just on the boat. They got to get to the boat, so they skydive, and they jump out of a plane to get to the damn boat because they're that badass.
And then when they get where they're going, they're dry and sexy. It's very hot.
And they just
Oh my God.
we got a plan, and
I
let's
bet the
follow it.
Groxt one was first in line for that movie.
Sure he was.
The USA is not going to go away in an hour.
But you brought up something that made me remember something I wanted to talk about, which is this is a movie about something that happened, and we all know how it turned out.
There's phenomenal
Right?
tension.
It's so exciting.
So much like Apollo 13, and there's another one out there that we know how
Argo.
it ends. Argo.
Argo,
Exactly.
yeah.
There is no spoiler, right? We can talk freely about everything that happens in this
Well,
movie.
I would say there is a little bit of a spoiler because now we see inside the boat. Because whenever we were watching the news and when we were getting reports, we didn't know what Captain Phillips went through. And
okay.
it's really exciting. And we also don't know how smart he was. It turns out that back in the day when this first happened, they didn't have any weapons on board.
I want to know that. I want to know
It's
how
amazing. He does
two
some
guys
good
in a
stuff.
13-foot dinghy.
International waters,
And-
there were
yeah,
back in 2009, there were no firearms on
Nope,
board
and so
cargo
he-
ships.
You were not
He-
allowed.
I
Not
guess it was
allowed.
the international
Regulation.
law, yeah.
I won't give anything away, but he does some stuff that makes he makes some very smart decisions based on the protocol that the captain's supposed to follow that keeps things from happening for a while. So it's really exciting. You learn new things.
You know the overall story, but the details are fascinating
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks
Oh, he's so good.
is so good in this movie. It's dumb. It's unfair
He's
to
really
everybody else. By the time that movie ends, you have such a belief that he believes his situation 100%. Like he is living it and has lived it and was there to the point where I started
He was
started
crying
crying.
at
I
the
was
end of the
crying like a
movie.
maniac.
Oh my God.
Because first of all, you get so wrapped up in the tension, and for real life events, that again is an amazing thing to pull off. This extreme tension, white knuckle, it's so intense that when the come down happens and Hanks, it has to flood over him that it's over. You just share it with him, and it's amazing. And he is amazing. He is so good.
He's really good.
He is so good.
Yeah, and what's the last thing he was in?
Captain Phillips.
Thank you.
I
Thank you, Lee.
think it was.
Thank God you were here.
It couldn't have been
Was
Larry
it
Crown, couldn't it?
the one where they run for the art and all that? Was that?
No.
Oh, extremely
Da
loud and
Vinci?
incredibly close.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Yes,
No,
that was
wasn't it
great. The 9/11.
Wasn't it the Julia Roberts one where?
Oh, Larry
he's-
Crown. Okay, take both those movies.
Yeah.
He's nothing like that in this.
No.
No,
okay.
he's totally different.
Right.
But that extremely
You know?
loud, incredibly close is so good. I
Is
forgot
it?
how
I
good
haven't
that.
seen that.
Because he's
oh,
not.
it's so good.
Was it good?
Really?
Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot because it
It had
surprised me.
Sandra Bullock. Right?
I did Sandra Bullock.
But he's because he's not Daniel Day-Lewis, who's so chameleon-like enters his characters. You can lose the fact that he is so different in every movie because he does it without fanfare and he does it without losing himself entirely. I mean, he's got an accent or whatever, but he has to act so differently than he did in Philadelphia, than he did in Forrest Gump, that he did in Catch Me If You Can, that he did in Road to Perdition. These are all really, really different movies.
All right, now let's all think about the fact that he came from bosom buddies.
I was just about to say our little
Exactly. And how different was that?
Our brains
I was sitting
How
on-
different is that from Saving Private Ryan?
I couldn't get his last name. Kip. What was his name?
Kip Winger.
Winger!
No, wait. No, Kip
No,
Winger's an
Kip
actual
Winger's
guy.
the singer.
He's an actual rock star.
Oh my God.
Kip Wilson.
Wilson
Yeah,
is with a W.
Kip Wilson is back. There was that
was
time
just-
Kip
oh my
Wilson went
God.
nuts, and then he had to announce he was back.
In our studio, for those of you who are listening on iTunes, we have up the volunteers poster behind me, and it has Tom Hanks, a very young Tom Brady looking Tom Hanks. Is that what you guys were saying
He
earlier?
looks just like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Well, it's a drawing. So.
It's a little sketch. And he's there with Rita Wilson, his lovely wife, and the great John Candy, who went too soon. But this guy here played Captain Phillips. It's
That guy.
unbelievable.
Yeah, the Volunteers. He was in the Volunteers. Tom Tuttle from Tacoma, Washington.
Unbelievable.
He was in. Yes.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I'm not breaking any news saying Tom Hanks is awesome, but just saying he's super consistent and being awesome once again. Go see it. It's the best film I've seen.
And even when he's making television appearances, you showed me one on YouTube last night on some sort of European show. They pulled out a giant keyboard for him to do the big thing on it, and he started playing chopsticks with the host. And it was so much fun because you could tell they were improvising, and they sort of just threw it at him.
Oh, it was Graham Norton.
Was
No, it was
Yeah,
Jonathan
it?
Ross.
Jonathan
Oh,
Ross.
that was.
It was so charming. And then, of course, my favorite female actress, Sandra Bullock, don't tell Julia Roberts. She came out and she did chopsticks with these super sexy high heels. It was very cool.
Yummy.
Yeah, and then when they get to the really high part where they have to split their legs, she said, I'm not playing. Awesome.
Jamie, what'd you see?
I did. I had a busy movie week.
Oh, good.
And I didn't even know that this was going to happen. So Saturday, I went to the movies by myself. I saw
I love doing
Insidious
that.
Chapter 2.
Okay.
That's still out.
Yes, it is still out.
Still?
And it was super awesome.
Still.
What? It was
Her?
It was super awesome.
I've heard otherwise. Oh, wow.
I disagree. Now, to be fair,
Wait a minute. How much did you pay for the movie?
It was matinee, like $9.
Okay. Because sometimes if you pay like $1.50, it becomes
It's
a
the
great
greatest.
movie. You know?
yeah.
Here's the thing. There's two parts to it. I did not see Insidious Chapter 1. I figured I wasn't missing much, so I'm sure I could figure out what was happening. I was correct.
Okay.
That wasn't an issue. But I also am not a big fan of like the way that horror movies have gone over the past like maybe 8 to 10 years or so, like the whole Hostel thing.
Oh, right.
I
Torture
like
porn.
a good,
Yeah, it is.
simple horror. And I remember the moment I got angry, it was White Noise, because if I go see a scary movie, I just want it to be scary. I want it to be supernatural. I don't want it to be like, I don't want the mystery machine to find out that the old man did it. Like, I want there to be no answer. And that's what I liked about this movie. There is no answer. There's the further. There's a whole other world that they've recreated. They really, I think, twisted stuff that happened in the first movie and made it different in the second one. And I was like, oh shit, I think that's cool. Now I'm going to see the first one because I want to know if I'm right.
You're seeing it all willy-nilly. That's crazy.
There was it was just really simple tension, really simple scares, and I appreciated what they did. I thought it was great.
It's the same director from The Conjuring, which provided
That was really good.
earthy thrills with the hint of supernatural as well.
And I
really
like
good
it was
at
really
it.
good.
they just kind of make their own rules in The Conjuring, and they follow the rules, and we all follow the rules, and there you go.
It's the same in this, I think.
like
Plus, it was super cool to me. The movie starts the morning after whatever happens in the first one happens.
Oh,
I
cool.
like that. I like
so
when
it is like
Me
the
too.
sequel picks up
immediate.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, Craig T. Nelson moved halfway across the earth and then there's another poltergeist. Like that, it's the same it's the same thing, and it hasn't left.
Well, he
It
moved
was
to
neat.
Minnesota and became coach. And then
He
there was
did,
Dauber.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like Ghostbusters 5 years later, and there's a baby. I knew immediately that was a bad move.
Is there a Ghostbusting baby?
There's a baby.
So then on Sunday,
Oh yes, you were saying.
The marathon continues.
Side note, I got swept into a marathon on television where I watched in order, God bless the cable programmers, I watched Can't Buy Me Love, Grease 2, Pretty in Pink, and then 16 Candles. In a row.
Good for you.
I think those get better as they go, right?
Yes,
I love
they
Pretty
do
in
get
Pink.
better.
I
Go
love
again.
16 Candles.
Can't Buy Me Love,
All right.
Grease 2.
We're gonna roll.
I think those might be backwards.
Those might be
tonight.
backwards.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Grease 2 is great. Then Pretty in Pink, and then 16
Those are
Candles.
definitely in the right order.
Yeah, it made me sad again.
Candles.
It was like watching a time when they actually made good movies. But I wound up my Sunday, and again, no idea this was going to happen. I watched the original Carrie for the first time.
Shut up.
I know.
There we go.
Shut the front door.
I know.
All right.
Prepping yourself for the. Will you see the remake?
Well, I had been talking about wanting to see the remake, so my husband was like,
Uh-oh.
"You should probably see the original before."
You hadn't
wanna do
seen
that."
it?
I hadn't seen
Oh,
it.
I
It's
thought
like
you
the
were
first time.
just.
It's like reading the book before you go.
Gotcha,
I mean, and
gotcha.
any movie that starts with like just 1970s raging muff is amazing. Like, and that's all that I like. Seriously, the camera like starts on it and then like pulls back, and they're like running
No, I've
through
actually
the gym.
seen that movie, Raging Muff.
Robert De Niro's in it
From
I think.
1970. Yeah.
Right.
I am adding this movie to my list because
I mean,
I want to see
it
me
is
some
like-
70 vagina.
It is 1970s in the finest form.
I
And
love that. And you know, whenever people do like 70s movies today, I wonder if that's one of the first things the actress does. Oh, it's 70s? Start growing. Start growing a girl.
I get my junk
Seriously.
together. What did you say?
I gotta get my junk worked out.
worked out. I got things
Yeah.
worked out.
I
Down
gotta
there.
get things
If Brian
worked
De
out.
Palma pulls out all the 70s in that, he's got split screens and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
and he's all
There's this
crazy.
one, there's also this other awesome part where they there's a montage of them trying on suits for the prom, and all of a sudden it goes in fast forward for no reason, and they're like, it's amazing. I also don't understand how William Catt didn't become the hugest star on the planet. He was so good. He's so good in that.
Yeah, he's a guy who's charming, has an easy charm about him. You think TV at least, where he did Greatest American Hero, he
did.
could keep that going.
Oh, yeah.
Or stage, he did Pippin.
He did.
Pippin.
He didn't take off in any of those. He did them all.
He was the
And he had a
original.
good chunk of time on top. But I would like to have seen that elongated.
You
And
know
I
who
think-
else was like that? Tom Hulse.
Agreed.
Yeah.
After Amadeus, how does he not just become the greatest actor in the world?
I
And
know.
on stage, he did A Few Good Men. He originated that part.
What?
Well, he's the
Kathy.
singing voice of
He was
Quasimodo.
Caffey on stage?
Him and Ron
Yeah.
Perlman.
Oh. For those of you who are not watching, Lee just did some sort of triple take.
I just had a
What?
I had
We had a couple of
jinkies
conversations going. It was all crazy.
That was my week. It was super busy. I watched a lot of movies.
Any 6-movie weekend is a damn good
It
weekend.
was a good one, right?
weekend.
Yeah, Jesus.
I think the husband was busy working, so she had a lot of time. I have this one slouching around. the
Okay,
house.
it's time for another rousing edition of Karen's weekly celebration of the birthdays of those who make the movies. Karen.
All right, let's start off our birthday week by wishing a happy birthday to Paul's first wife, Kelly Preston.
I wish.
Oh, zing!
Oh my God. Who turns 51 but can play anywhere from Mrs. Sheen, Charlie that is, to Mrs. Travolta. She really wasn't married to Charlie Sheen, but she
Oh.
was briefly engaged to him
Oh.
until he accidentally shot her in the arm.
Wait a minute. Is any of this true?
This is true.
Wow.
And she also spent some time with, what's his face? The super hunky.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
What is his face?
Oh my God! Super awesome actor who was just dating the wrestler. Why can't it? George Clooney.
Oh, my good Lord.
She spent time with him, and he gave her a turtle for a present. And then when they broke up, he kept the turtle, and it lived to be 18 years old.
But don't they?
That's
aren't
not
they
very
supposed
long
to?
for a
Yeah, I was gonna
turtle.
say, aren't they supposed to live to like 120?
What happened to the turtle?
Maybe he forgot to feed it. I'm not sure what he
He was
did
already
to
70
it.
by the time Clooney got him.
Maybe that's why the relationship didn't
It
work
was a
out.
cheap turtle.
Internet, are there things you don't know?
I know, it's all crazy. All right, so we all know that her husband is now currently John Travolta, and they have the distinction, this is kind of crazy, of both starring in movies based on Steven Spielberg novels, where the title was a girl's name, and each began with the letter C. So I have a quick quiz for you. Tell me which one they both starred in. Kelly, which one did she star in? Now, it's a woman's name Starts with a C. Stephen King novel.
Stephen King. You said Steven Spielberg.
I'm sorry, it's Stephen
I was
King.
like,
Yeah, I was so confused.
I lost my mind.
I didn't even know he wrote a novel.
And I, of course, thought I said Stephen King, but no, it's
Stephen
Stephen
King
King.
novel.
So it's a
Okay.
novel.
wait,
Letter
back up.
C.
What are the rules again?
I'm going
All right. Well,
to...
Travolta was in Carrie.
Right.
Okay, so that's the rules.
So
it's
ergo, Kelly Preston must have been in Christine.
That's right.
There you go.
How crazy is
You
that?
know who else was in Christine? Is the guy from...
You're going to make a dirty joke.
No. This is just...
I thought it was like a sex joke.
Because he was in her.
Back to School. Melon. Wasn't that Melon?
George Clooney. No?
The guy who
Yeah. Oh,
played-
yeah. He's the lead.
Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah.
Like,
His
that
name is
actor's
Jamie, come
Oh,
on.
no.
Jamie.
Oh, the pressure.
Yeah, the lead in
I'll
Christine
come up
was-
with that.
All
Yeah,
right,
keep
good.
going.
Next up, happy birthday to Penny Marshall, who turned 70, but can play anywhere from Laverne DeFazio to the ex-wife of Meathead. Penny was the first female to direct... What? You're making a funny face.
I thought she was gay.
No, she's not gay.
Penny Marshall's not gay.
Oh,
No.
my Lord. Where is...
Paul, edit that out.
Lee just made the craziest face, and I went to inside my head. I'm like, wait a minute. She was married to Meathead. And
Was
then I'm like,
she?
wait, was Meathead her brother? Because this is all very incestuous. This whole
Yes.
thing, because Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall, and that's her brother, and then Meathead, and she was married to him, and
I used
she
to
almost
think-
got the part of Sally Struthers, so she almost was married on camera to the anyway.
And I always
Yes.
thought Gary was her father. I always thought Gary Marshall was her dad.
God, they make him like 140.
Yeah, and also
Well, not
just
that much,
so you
but
know, when I was
make
doing
him like 100.
research, I found out that Penny Marshall's dad was a director as well. So that's kind of crazy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway, here's something fun. So you all know that she's a female director. Did you know that she was the first director to direct 2 movies as a female that grossed over $100 million?
I feel a quiz coming on.
And what 2 movies were they?
League
Let's
of Their
go.
Own. League of Their Own.
League of Their Own,
And Big.
1992, and Big, 1988.
I forgot she did Big.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great movie.
That's
Look
a
at
great
all...
movie.
This is just amazing to me. Like,
Yes.
So we talked about John Travolta,
Yep.
who was in Carrie.
Yes.
It's on the podcast. And then you brought that back around to Big with Tom Hanks playing chopsticks on the piano that we
Yes.
just discussed.
I'm just saying, it's all plate of shrimp right
Mind
here.
blown.
Uh-huh.
Tom Hanks,
insane.
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. And then lastly, let's wish a happy birthday to Paul Simon, who turned 72. That is crazy. But can play anywhere from Man in Precinct, from Die Hard with a Vengeance, to SWAT Cop in Panic Room. Yeah, actually, wait a second. That was the wrong Paul Simon.
I was gonna say, what?
That's Paul Simon 2, because on IMDb, the real Paul Simon's so awesome that they made this other poor after-SAG actor just be Paul Simon 2.
Hey, you know what? I'm Paul Preston too, so I don't want to hear it. I am. There was another guy who was in Ordinary People, and that's it.
At least this is Paul Simon 2. It's because of Paul Simon. There's a Paul Preston
Yeah,
out
so
there.
I'm worse. Yeah, thank you. Continue.
We all know that many movies have featured music written by Paul Simon. And I recently watched The Graduate, which was awesome, and completely loved the soundtrack. We know that Mrs. Robinson is in there, Sound of Silence, and Scarborough Fair. Can you name at least 3 other movies that feature music from Mr. Simon? And I have a bunch of them here, so just 3.
Well, I have one that I believe may have even starred Paul Simon.
Yes.
Called One Trick Pony.
I think I remember seeing that, but I didn't write it down.
Am I allowed
That
to
had
name
Late
the
in the
songs?
Evening on there, which is a great song.
There you go. You can name some of the songs.
I'm pretty sure You Can Call Me Al was in a movie.
Maybe
You Can
it's
Call
not,
Me Al?
not
Yeah.
any of the ones I've listed here. These are like super blockbustery
Oh, God,
movies.
50 Ways to Leave Your Lover was in something.
Oh, that movie, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover.
I'll give you a hint. Tom Hanks is in one of these movies.
Splash?
No.
Did you do the music to Splash?
Yeah, I can't put that together.
What do you got?
Forrest Gump, Mrs. Robinson,
Oh.
and Almost Famous, America. And then The Watchmen, of all things, had
Oh,
the Sounds
yeah.
of Silence.
Yes, it did. You're right.
I thought that's kind of cool. And Lost in Translation, Scarborough Fair. Yeah.
I would have gotten none of those.
And The Pursuit of Happiness, Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Now, I
Good
could
movie.
have bet that song was, but isn't that a Garfunkel?
Oh, I'm thinking both of them,
Oh,
Simon
okay,
and Garfunkel. He helped write it. And then lastly...
Oh, well, if that, let's start over because you threw me
sorry,
off.
it's over. And lastly, this is just fun, is the Coneheads had Kodachrome. I just love the fact that
It
Coneheads...
did. In a
used-
montage scene.
Yeah.
Why do I know that one the most of all the movies you mentioned?
You know what else is fun about the Coneheads is whenever they go to the store to buy gum, it's when they need condoms. And so now Paul and we call condoms gum. I'll be like, we're running low on gum. And we've kind of kept that all this time.
It's a great story, honey.
And those are the birthdays for this week. Yay, happy birthday.
You know what's also great is a Naked Gun 33 1/3 when Leslie Nielsen infiltrates the Oscars. And he's got to get to the podium to keep someone from opening an envelope or a bomb goes off. And it's James Earl Jones. He just says, oh, hey, loved you in Coneheads. And then he takes the envelope from it. Like it's James Earl Jones. Loved you in Coneheads. Anyway, all right, so we're going to take our first break. Look how long we go breakless just for you people. We're going to take a break. It'll last all of 10 seconds for you guys, but we'll be right back here with Steve Guttenberg on the phone and director Robin Mountjoy in the studio. We shall return. And we are back with our guest, one of our two guests today on a two-guest Wednesday.
I was just going to say 2 Guest Tuesday, but that isn't.
But it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
We have director Robin Mountjoy in the studio.
Yay!
The director of the indie film Quick to Duck, and you have another film under your belt, don't you? Besides that?
Shower Frown, comedy.
A comedy?
Yeah.
Okay, so because I saw Quick to Duck, and it's about this guy who runs like a rehab center who's like who does a ton of drugs himself.
Yeah,
he's
and
involved
he's
with gambling debts.
Involved with one of the patients.
Yeah, and there's like a whole family that's a complete mess that comes to the thing. But did you want to do that after a comedy? I would think now after that you would want to do another comedy.
Well, the comedy we did was, a dark comedy.
Oh, good.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my favorite kind.
So it wasn't like, light, and it was a dark comedy. But Quick to Duck, being dark as it was, it wasn't. There's some stuff that was funny to me. But
yeah.
Well, you can mine humor out of dark places like that.
There's nothing funnier than the whole family, this lovely, charming family gets in this van. And they're all excited because the dad, played by Robin, is going to drive them to the bar where they can get pizza.
Yeah.
Then the car breaks down and they all get pissed.
Tell us the full story of Quick to Duck.
Well, what she was talking about, is very funny because
It's funny.
this guy's collecting cans
Right.
because he doesn't have any money, and the family's like down and out, and because he drinks all the profit away
From the cans.
from his cans and his job as a musician and bouncers once in a while, and he had all these kids. And his wife's like 10 months, nine.
She's so pregnant. I thought she was going to have the baby during the filming. She's so pregnant.
And the actress really was pregnant.
So did you
I
think
thought
she was
so.
going to bust?
It was scary, dude.
She's a good friend of mine, and she's a really talented actress.
Yeah.
And she's so dedicated. Jane Haggerty is her name, out of New York, and she wanted to do the part no matter what. And she was like, literally, she delivered 2 weeks later.
Wow.
She was so pregnant that I thought she can't really be pregnant. That's so pregnant.
Yeah, but it's about this dysfunctional family, and I tried to make light of it, but it was dealing with some dark issues, and a dysfunctional family where the teenage daughter ends up in a group home, and the group home is ran by a total screw up who's on drugs and gambling addiction, and in the group home there's a chef who works there, played by Steve Guttenberg, and the character's name was Mickey Beans, and he's a chef there, but he's also a bookie on the side.
Right.
So he's always chasing around the doctor to try to get his money, and his debt's paid, and this real eccentric, out of the box type of film, and that's basically what it's about, and a little bit of revenge story in there as well, that my character gets to hunt down.
That's true.
I don't want to spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it. But yay, you always want that to happen,
Well, he's
don't
an
you?
angry guy, the character you play.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very. I'm a method guy, so the whole time my wife was not happy with this. She says, "Is this the way you're gonna be? When you do a part like this?" I was like, "Well, it's the only way I know how to do it."
Right, because you don't seem like when I saw you in the movie. Thank God I met you now. You were really scary.
Yeah.
But very lovely now.
It's acting.
Yeah.
I trained in New York, and plus, like I said, method. I've really connected with this character because I had a lot to draw off of.
Especially the musician part.
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I noticed because I'm such a dork about this stuff. I noticed right away when he picked up the guitar in the movie. I was curious already because there was music playing even before that scene where you had the guitar. I thought, I wonder if this is his own music. I'm really starting to think it is because there's something about the quality of your speaking voice. I could hear it in the singing. And I noticed that you were a southpaw.
Yeah.
How long you been playing guitar?
since '96.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, that was your first thing, right?
Yeah, my first creative thing that I started, music, and that is what took me on the course to New York, where I got into acting and writing and directing.
Yeah, because being an artist is being an artist.
Well, I discovered that because I didn't even know I was an artist till I was like 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered something kind of by accident, and it just made me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I just started doing it all the time, and all of a sudden, I started noticing my life improving.
Right, because you're doing what you're here to do.
That's what happened. Yeah. So, I was people kind of like my friends and people that knew me at the time are like, "What? You're a musician today?" Right. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm going to do." And all of a sudden, I just was away. I moved to another town. I met new people. My whole life just transformed into a whole new experience, and it was crazy. And next thing you know, I met this wonderful woman, and me and her moved to New York, and she was going to Columbia University, and that's where I met some people, and I got into writing and directing and acting, and everything just started. But it all started with the creative process of finding music at kind of a late time to find it.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was just thinking that man, I have so much energy.
Where do I focus it? And you don't get focused in good places unless you can get creative.
Yeah, except my father's side of the family was, which I didn't grow up with. His side of the family, it was guitarist, artist, musicians, bar owners.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
They go together.
They go together. You can play at his bar.
Yeah, so I was, I discovered all that stuff, in my early 20s, when I got into it.
Well, since you did come into it so late, who are your musical influences? Because I think you have kind of a Leonard Cohen thing going. But what would you think some of your influences are?
It's just storytelling,
So you like Americana singer-songwriter?
I guess back when I was doing it in '96, I really liked some artists that I was following was a guy named Hamill on Trial. The way he would play acoustic guitar, real punk style, real fast, and then also Johnny Cash.
I love Johnny Cash.
Dylan, Cohen, Bo Diddley.
Uh-huh.
Things like that.
My favorite, and you don't have to like him, but I love him, and it's such a random thing. Do you like Lyle Lovett?
Yeah, I went and saw him the other night at Willie Nelson and him at the...
we saw that show. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you.
I was there with my wife.
At the bowl.
Yeah, I was, to be honest with you,
yeah,
I was taken back a little bit.
By Lyle?
By Lyle.
He's so freaking great.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Lyle Lovett.
I grew up, watching him, and the whole thing with Julia Roberts and all that stuff, and thinking, wow, he's a great artist, but I wasn't too familiar with his music. But then when I was at the show there tonight, I was like, man, this is... I love it. I went and got the album.
You saw some good Lyle.
You.
Because you saw the large band. Now, sometimes they'll go out with the acoustic group
which is
or
still good.
Solo or something like that. But the large bands, I get 18 people in the band. So that was a good way to see Lyle if you're going to see him.
Lyle's got a really great quirky sense of humor, and his storytelling it's so solid. So
it's all it's storytelling and or expression. It's all expression, and that's just the way it stems. If you listen to my music, which is available on iTunes and CD Baby. And I had Johnny Cash's bass player, Dave Roe-Rorick, guest play on my album, play bass on that song, You Gotta Go.
Cool.
But if you listen to my music, it's all storytelling. And I didn't really know how to play guitar or anything when I first started. I kind of just was needed to get these emotions out of me.
I can respect this.
Yeah.
It's exactly why I learned.
So I learned later.
Yeah, me too. I learned like 3 years ago.
But I was playing on stages and doing a lot of things and instantly... hosting and producing and grabbing. I would show up at clubs. I can play 3 songs that I wrote, but if they'll say, "Well, we need to do more than that. We kind of dig what you're doing," but I'm like, "How about I get another band that has a big following? I'll get them to come in. I'll open up for them." And once they said, "Well, that might work," it was over. Then I knew what I needed to do, and then I did that, and then I started to be able to play longer sets and become the headliner eventually. But that took a long time.
Right.
But it was instantly producing, making things happen, putting things together, and then later on, that sort of behavior translated into being able to direct and work with other artists in acting and stuff. It all started with music.
If someone said music or movies, you'd say both. Right?
No.
I mean, are you
what's
all in on movies
your
now?
Sophie's choice? Yeah.
I'd say painting.
Just throwing a
watercolor.
right turn in there.
Well, I just love painting.
That's cool,
I love
dude.
painting. Action painting. You've seen my paintings on Facebook, probably. If not,
I have
I'll make.
not, no.
I have
gotta
to check this out because I want to know what the genre of action painting is. Are you in action while you paint, or are there paintings of actiony things?
You know what? This is gonna blow your mind. I just started painting a couple weeks ago.
And it's already the biggest thing in your life.
And not the biggest thing, but I fell in love with it. It's so weird because I was in between projects, waiting for the next project to start, and I was getting stir crazy. I was like, do I write another script? Do I play guitar some more? Do I do another album? Do I go perform here? There's a new baby coming. What's going on? Oh my God. And my son, he's 2 years old. He was playing with water paint, and I went over there, and I'm trying not to, go do stuff I've already done because I'm already caught up with everything. And I went and kind of was doodling with him a little bit. And next thing you know, a friend of mine, Hamill on Trial out of New York, who is on Andy DeFranco's label, and he was on Mercury Records back in the day, but he's also a painter. And I was seeing his work on Facebook and stuff, and I was like, I really like this stuff. It's really cool. It's quirky. It's different. You have like a guitar player with a Jack Daniels bottle and a girl with big tits.
Well, you gotta have the girl with big tits. Come on.
So I was like, I started. Just for an expression, I went and started painting, and I found myself just doing it similar to what I do with everything else I do, intensely and passionately. And the next thing I know, I was done with a piece, and I was like, after 3 or 4 paintings, the fifth piece started to look like something you could put on the wall, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is, and the emotional high I was getting was crazy. I compare it to the action of when you're doing what we're doing right now. There's an emotional energy. I was getting that energy. So when I say painting, it's just because it's new.
That's right. It'll be sculpting in a year. Right?
Painting's it's actually new to me. There's been music. There's been playwriting, acting, filmmaking, directing, and
so you
now
got
painting.
your plays off Broadway, is that right?
Off.
Yeah.
We could throw a rock and hit Phantom of the Opera. So it was. I always say that it was really
not
close.
bad, very close.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're 3,000 miles off
Broadway.
I mean, it's way off.
Yeah, I kicked ass in New York, man, and I was really proud of that. It's what got me to be able to come out here, and I'm so glad I came out here because, yes, there's a lot of people that do say they're going to do some flaky people. There is a lot of flakiness in Hollywood, but there's also a lot of people out here that do what they say they're going to do, and they're stand-up people, and they're out here. And in New York, it's it's a little more spread out. Here, it's easier to find, easier to connect the dots, to network and bring yourself around the right people that are all wanting to do this for the right reason. And that's to create tremendous, beautiful art, and also the business side of it too, because we want to take care of our families and all that stuff too. And so this is the place to be.
Yeah, we think so.
You were talking about how one thing just led to the next and how you got to work with different people. And I am so impressed that you got Steve Guttenberg in your movie.
Oh, yeah,
I think he's fantastic. How the heck does someone do that? How does it happen?
People ask that a lot.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's
it's awesome.
I want you to ask that because I'll tell every filmmaker out there that to just go for it, and if it's on if you can get it on the page, and where it's engaging, and it can hold the readers, it needs to be engaging, but then you can just, it's like rolling the dice, and you call casting agencies, and you really have to, it's like a cold call. It is a cold call.
You have to have balls to do that.
Yeah, you have to, and
big titties and balls.
To me,
if we've learned anything,
I just encourage everybody out there to put their best writing down, and if they can if they believe in what they're doing, to call up the agents, and a lot of the agents are going to be quick to try to get you off the phone or not even talk to you. But the reason is because they deal with so much, stuff that's not, where it needs to be. But you don't know till you try.
So
I guess he just asked.
You just asked. See, that's really ballsy because I thought maybe my sister babysits for his kid or something.
No, there was a connection. This is the connection. It's all connected. Everything I do since this creative thing has started is all, I can see all the dots connecting. I had done a film based on a play before this. And the cousin...
See, I told you it was my wife's sister's babysitter's cousin.
There is a web.
The cousin of the actress was had a distribution company. And that distributor distributed my first film, Shower Frown, the comedy. And then when I was getting ready to do my next film, he said, Robin, you really need a name in your film. And I was like, what do you mean name? Because I was new to the business. And I was just like, someone that was recognizable name to help sell the product. And I was like, really? Okay. So let me figure that out. And he was saying, so I went, he didn't tell me. He says, you should need a name. So I went to his website of his movies in his company. And in his movies collection of the movies that they're putting out, there was a couple recognizable names.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So I went on there and I saw Guttenberg, and then I called the director of the film that he was in with Guttenberg, and the director is by the name of Dr. Ravi. He's a real doctor, and he lived in Philadelphia. And I called him up, got him on the phone, and started talking to him. And from there, called Guttenberg's agent, which he told me, he just said, go on IMDb. And I was like, what's IMDb? And I figured it all out because that's what you do,
Right.
And this was back when I very first started. That first film was done, and I really was just learning about the whole business and everything. And called IMDb, got a hold of him on the phone. First thing out of my mouth, and when they were trying to get me off the phone, was
right.
I was like, hold on. Well, I'm doing a film with the distributor of one of the films Steve was in. He was in with this company, and my film was with that distributor. So that was an in right there. So
you said the word distributor and my other film. That's brilliant.
A decent in, but there's still a lot of balls. I will go back to the balls. There's
Yeah.
still a lot of balls in what you did and just making all these calls, because, I've only made an indie short or two, and even with locations, a lot of people think, well, I could never make a movie that takes place in a restaurant. I don't know anyone who owns a restaurant. But you just go and ask.
Yeah, you go ask.
You'd be surprised.
So then I sent him the script, and I got a phone call, and
That's cool.
the script, the script was really good, and I believed in the script, and it was based off an award-winning play my first play I ever wrote, got the LaGuardia Performing Arts Center in New York, gave it a grant. So that was my start in the business. And from there, I transferred into a screenplay and got a name involved and pieced it together and glued it together and learning as I go. And
Was it intimidating at all to know that you're now going to be directing Steve Guttenberg?
No, because I know this is what I was meant to do, and for me it was just like I just looked at him like another actor. But I did make sure there was, when you've been through a lot in life, you don't get that thing of like, oh my God, look at who I'm with. It doesn't. I'm just there to do a job.
Right.
I was excited though.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
I was excited because I was like, I knew from music. And when I first started music, I knew that when I would do a show, open up for someone that was really famous or known in the alternative country blues arena, that it was going to help me because I was going to get seen by a larger amount of people.
Yeah.
So I knew that for the music. So I knew that was going to help me. I started putting two and two together.
All right, we now have a phone call coming in from New York City with the star of Quick to Duck. Steve Guttenberg is on the phone. How are you, Steve?
I'm great. How you doing, Paul?
Outstanding. Last time I saw you, you were the honorary mayor of Pacific Palisades, and now you're in New York City. If I know correctly, you're Juilliard trained, so you started there too. What brings you back to New York?
I've always wanted to live back here. I lived in Los Angeles for about 30 years, and I still have a great piece of property there, but wanted to come here. I got my whole family here, and it's such a luxury to come back and live near the family. I just love that a lot.
The thing I always liked about your performances was you made charm and being genial interesting, and I think that's tough. And it was no surprise you ended up in a film with Ted Danson, who I think does the same thing. It's kind of like when I watched The Dark Knight with the Batman films. Gary Oldman made being noble interesting, and I thought you always made charm very interesting as well. And do you think there's a lot of training that comes to that to sort of pull that off believably?
Well, thanks. It's really just acting, and it's always looking for an interesting way to play a character. The movies that you've mentioned I've been the lead in. So when you're the lead, it really is beholden to you to be interesting. And it's a very, very important part of your job to be charming, because if you're the lead of the movie, people really want to watch you and follow you. You've got to be somewhat likable. So, it's just, really basically just acting, and trying to act charming.
And you've dipped into a darker place now with Quick to Duck. We just talked to Robin Mountjoy, the director, and in this film, you play a bookie who's in a rehab facility that is just a dark place to be. And what drew you to this project?
I really liked Robin's work. I thought Rob is a really interesting director. He's got some fascinating points of view about filmmaking, and I spoke to him a little bit before the filming of the show, and I really liked his take on it, and I liked his point of view of actors. I think he's got a very good handle on how to treat actors, and that's what interested me about the picture.
Hey, hi there. This is the other movie guy, Paul's movie guy partner, Karen. And I just wanted to ask you, whenever you were in that movie, you played a chef. And I found you horribly charming because I think you're adorable. But did you actually go in and do any sort of research or anything to know what it would be like to be a chef in that kind of situation?
I was pretty lucky that I used to work in a luncheonette in Long
That's awesome.
Island. I grew up. So I was a line chef for a little while in the luncheonette, so I knew what it was like to be in the in the scene of cooking for 10, 12 people really quickly, and that was sort of easy in a way.
That's awesome.
And did you have any other personal attachment to the darker areas of that film, rehab stories, things like that?
Well, I have a lot of friends who've gone to rehab, so personally it was something that I dealt with friends of mine, and I was able to look at the piece objectively, because I'm always, if someone's in trouble, you try to look at the situation without any bias. So I looked at this film as an opportunity to explore acting in sort of from the balcony. When you work one of these homes, these people are pretty troubled, so you can't have whereas your personal bias might come into play, you're working there, and you want these people to heal. It's like being in a hospital ward. There's sick people that need to heal. So you can't, if someone comes in and they were involved in a mugging and they were the mugger, you still have to make sure that they heal. So I looked at the role that way.
When you were out here in L.A., you were the star of franchises like 3 Minute Baby, Short Circuit, and Police Academy. Were there, back then, no doubt you were getting offers from a ton of films. Were there any that you didn't take that you regret?
No, I've been really lucky. The business has been so good to me, and I don't really remember what I didn't get or didn't take, and I just really remember the offers that I accepted. But I was, really, really lucky. I had some great movies, got to work with some really interesting people, and I don't ever think about stuff that I turn down because. There's nothing in it for me.
With Quick the Duck, we're going to talk to Robin here another second after we're done talking to you and wrap up with him. It's available on Amazon and a whole bunch of other places to check out. But before we go, I want to talk to you. I want to ask a question we ask of all our guests. Steve Guttenberg, what is your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie of all time? Well, I've got a few, but I would have to say there are two. High Noon.
Good. Oh.
Yeah.
And George Stevens' Shane.
Oh, so like Western guy.
Yeah, I love Western.
Nice.
The thing about Westerns I always find interesting is everyone I go to, I'm like, all right, I'll go see this movie. And then when it gets about 10 minutes in, I realize, man, I love Westerns. And I kind of forgot when I went in. I was like, oh, I'll go see that because it's got a cool actor in it. And then I sit down, I'm like, I just forgot how great these Westerns are.
Yeah, they really are fun. They really are.
Have you been in one?
I've never been in a Western. No.
I think you'd be
would-
great in a Western.
I would love that too, but the equipment I was born with is sort of a modern look. I don't have a timeless look. I have more of a modern mutt.
Yeah. Even in the new film, you're not that grizzled. We've been watching you for 30 years, and Steve Guttenberg, I'm like, that's Steve Guttenberg.
No, Steve Guttenberg still looks good.
Yeah, still Steve Guttenberg. You never got grizzled, so good on you for that. All right, Steve, it's been great talking to you. Appreciate you calling into the show.
Thanks so much, Paul, and give a big hug to Rob for me and tell him to have a great interview. He's a talented, wonderful guy.
We'll do. Multi-talented, we're finding out. So we're going to head back to talking to him. Thanks a ton, Steve.
Great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to talk to both of you. Wish you all the best.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Steve Guttenberg. You loved him in the 80s, didn't you?
Oh my God!
Who didn't, right?
I loved him in a different way than you guys. He is so friggin' dreamy, and here's the thing: his voice is just like I thought it would be. And in this movie, I know he's playing just a guy who works in a home or whatever. Absolutely adorable. Check it out if you are a Steve Guttenberg fan. He's very cute.
The thing is, he's worked steadily for 30 years. I mean, that's any actor's dream.
Yeah, I love the answer he gave where he said that's not his equipment. Like, I think he's so thoughtful. His choice of words was so great.
I wanted to ask him if he was going to be in the Veronica Mars movie, because he did a couple of seasons on Veronica Mars, a show I never saw. And I was just talking about this last night with somebody. I said, I hope they make the film for people who've never seen the show, because I want to go. No, I don't know if he played a character who died or something. Of course, he wouldn't be on it. But I hope if that many fans are right in self-funding that film.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be pretty good. So I would hope that he shows up in it.
Hey, he said nice things about you. Boy, you guys are buddies. All right.
Well, we got a lot of good work done that day,
Yeah.
and we hit it off. And he's about the process, and so am I. And I think he saw that in me, and we had a connection. And that's what it's all about when you're working with other artists.
Mhm.
If you really think about it, if you really work with a real artist, that's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to do the get into it, because it's the buzz you get.
Yeah.
He answered this question, how many do. Oh, it's tough to narrow it down to one favorite film of all time. And that's totally true. I give you 5 or 6. I narrowed it down to Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I could give you a top 10. That's, and they're all awesome. But Robin, what's your favorite movie of all time here before we let you go?
Cape Fear?
Great movie.
The original or the Scorsese?
Scorsese.
Yeah.
I have to say, that's one of the best updates I think there has ever been. When they made that from the black and white good guy, bad guy film with Robert Mitchum into the more complicated 90s Scorsese film, and they made the lead, Nick Nolte's character, very unlikable, and the things he did to De Niro's character, Max Cady, were nefarious, and so you kind of root for Nolte, but you know that he kind of screwed De Niro a little bit. That makes the whole thing very complicated. And I thought that night was a nice thick script.
That's a great choice.
Why do you like it? Why is it number one?
It's just physically it does something to me.
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me.
Oh, there you go. That's
Jessica Lange, De Niro, the way Scorsese
little
does his
girl.
thing, and the what's her name?
Juliette Lewis. Oh my God.
Scorsese shot the shit out of that
Wonderful.
movie.
I saw it when I was 20 years old, something like that. I didn't know who Scorsese was or any, but and I'm a huge fan of Nick Nolte as well.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
All right. Well, this has been great talking to you. I'll hold
Yeah,
up the
this has been
DVD.
cool.
We've got the DVD
Yes.
here. Quick to duck, so you know what the poster looks like. A film by Robin Mountjoy, Dysfunctional by Nature. That describes every character in that movie.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So all the places we mentioned, you can get that. Check it out if you get the chance. And we're going to leave with some of Robin's music. And we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with, I think we have one more film to preview this
One
week.
more. That's
All
right.
Thanks, Robin.
Yeah, very cool,
Thank you.
dude.
And I walked into
What
this
kind of guitar is this?
I said, hey, man.
Taylor. That's a Taylor.
Taylor, nice.
I can sweep the floor.
Before we get to our last movie of the week, I want to thank Robin Mountjoy and Steve Guttenberg for appearing on the Showcast. Remember, you can follow us on @TheMovieGuys on Twitter. Look us up on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and more. Thanks also to Steve Scholes for his writing contributions to the show every week. Finding out everything we're up to is easy. Just go to themovieguys.net. And we're thrilled to have Jamie Clark-Yelvington sitting in the whole show. So why don't you help me preview Carrie?
Coming to theaters October 18th is a reimagining of Carrie.
Wait a minute. What the hell does reimagining mean? How can you think up something for the first time that's already been thought up?
Oh, I got this. Reimagining, it means remaking a movie but with better special effects. Good news for Dennis Miller. That reference to Carrie is no longer dated, as a newer, fresher Carrie arrives in theaters this Friday.
Carrie is the remake of the classic 1976 Brian De Palma movie if you're a film fan, or a retelling of the famous Stephen King novel for you literary types.
The trailer starts typically with a creepy mom singing. At first, I thought it was the Cher story until I realized it was about a domineering, psychotic mother. But I should clarify that it's not the Dina Lohan story. It's about Carrie White. I went to school with a girl named Carrie White, a young girl abused by her classmates at school.
Oh, so you were the abuser.
Yes.
Yeah. Carrie is going through some changes that might be familiar to any girl who came of age with superpowers as she develops telekinesis, the ability to move objects with her mind, whereas most girls at her age just develop the ability to move boys' penises using only their breasts.
She can cause objects and people to levitate. But this is a horror movie, so she doesn't embark on a 40-year career doing magic shows in Vegas. Instead, she takes her act to prom night.
And what would Carrie be without a bucket of blood over the head? The iconic prank from the original returns to the remake, though I hope it's updated so the jocks get in a lot of trouble, because post-Columbine, that's got to mean a trip to the guidance counselor's office.
I'd hope so.
Oh, Steve Holt from Arrested Development plays fake John Travolta. Julianne Moore plays the mom with foreshadowing red hair. And Chloe Grace Moritz plays Carrie. That's right, the bitchy resting face high school girls decided to pull their prank on is Hit Girl. It's the ultimate revenge fantasy.
There you go.
Yep.
And also, probably not a wise idea.
No,
That's Hit Girl.
Hey, let's go and throw
We
some
already
blood on
know
her.
she can kick your ass.
Exactly. It's right there in the title.
But you bring up a good point, Paul. And when I first saw the first Carrie, I thought the same thing that I thought when it was mentioned here. I don't think I could get a bucket of blood if I tried, even in L.A., right? I mean, where do you go to get blood?
I am well aware on this. See, that John
yes,
Travolta,
Jamie?
John
Tell us.
Travolta, and the other girl's friend, his dad owns a pig farm. So they break into the pig farm in the middle of the night. They slaughter a pig and they drain the blood from the pig into the bucket.
That seems like
to
a lot
bring
of
to the
trouble
prom.
to go to.
It is a lot of work.
It's Stephen King.
It's a lot of work.
Wow.
It's unpleasant.
See, it also shows that people living in a city, even though people in the rest of the country think, oh, they're all uncivilized, you go to a small town, you're going to see some crazy shit. Lots of weird stuff goes on because nobody's looking.
I love how the plan is a bucket of blood. Step one, slaughter a live pig.
Yeah, and you have one.
That's pretty much where I would go, you know what, let's find something else.
Yeah, but you aren't from these little towns. They would go and slaughter the pig,
I'm going to go with water.
do the prom thing, and then have a pig roast.
Have you seen the viral video going around about Carrie?
Yeah, in the coffee
In the
shop.
coffee shop?
That's really
Pretty
cool.
good.
It is pretty neat.
Have you not seen it?
I have not.
They rigged the coffee shop to do all these special effects. So when someone comes in and at one point two actors start yelling at each other, and one of them's Carrie, and she pushes a guy and he flies up against the wall and up to the
goes up
ceiling,
to the ceiling.
and she screams and like all the desks and chairs and stuff go flying in 100 different directions, and books start flying off the wall. So anyone not in on it, they got the camera right on them and they're just going, making these huge faces like, what the fuck?
If you haven't seen it, we posted on our Facebook page, so you can check it out.
It's still amazing to me, though, because I'm pretty sure I thought about this. Like, if I was walking into that coffee shop and that scene played out, I just...
Yeah, I know.
Good
We
job.
would.
Like, I would think I'd know, but none of those people... But it's not like they're in New York, I think. Like, around people that I think
Yeah,
would
you'd
probably
think would
know.
be savvy. But someone who goes to a pig farm to drain blood for a prom prank
might not see the wire.
probably like, oh,
Right?
That's true.
what?
They have shops with coffee.
Steve Scholes said that they should, who writes for the show, said they should do a gravity prank like that and just start flinging people from the sky and start landing people. But and then, they land next to you. Whoa, gravity opens October 4th. Send
They
some
should do that with-
pirates on a carnival cruise. Or Captain Phillips
They should do
opening
that.
October 6th.
No, for Captain Phillips, they should send a couple of hot Navy SEAls down here, and they could just float into my yard and be like, "I'm a Navy SEAL." I'll be like, "All right."
Has
I'll
somebody
just
been
get moving."
taken hostage?
I will believe you.
Oh, what a great guy's stripper costume!
Navy SEAL
Navy
or Captain
SEAL.
Phillips?
I'm sure that's done.
Navy SEAL, not Captain Phillips. I love the Tom Hanks, but
The great Michael Gelbart, who was here a couple weeks ago, has a whole routine about how girls need guys to dress up. Here comes Bob the fireman, and like with guys, it's just here's another naked woman. But you got to be like a cop and a whole
I love when they
construction guy.
Here's Janine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, by now bringing the story of a young girl who's abused by bullies to the 21st century, Carrie provides a unique platform to discuss bullying with a new generation of kids. This is why we're very happy that our next guest was able to make an appearance on our show. Oh. Please welcome from the movie Carrie, it's Carrie, everybody.
Oh my God, what a get!
Hey, Carrie.
Thanks, Paul.
Wow.
Now, how are you involved with the anti-bullying campaign?
I'm the spokesperson, and I'm helping craft a new campaign to be released simultaneously with the documentary Carrie being released this week.
Okay, well, so getting all this press for your new movie must be doing wonders for the anti-bullying movement.
It's really helpful because when you see the movie, it really bolsters our new slogan, "Don't bully, or I'll kill you with my mind."
Ooh, that sounds effective.
We're also going to build awareness on the internet with the motto, "It gets better, or I'll set you on fire."
I have to imagine that's going to help make life better for a lot of bullied teens. But how has the message changed since the 70s?
Well, bullies nowadays don't look like John Travolta like in the original Carrie. Also, bullying has adapted to the times with something called cyberbullying.
Ah, see, now, how has that changed bullying?
Bullies are more brave than when they don't have to insult somebody right to their face. They flourish in anonymity.
Really?
Here, I can show you. Lee, go ahead and just say something insulting right to Paul's face.
Just bully him now?
Yeah, in person.
Okay. You know, Paul, you're that thing that you do is the shirt. Yeah, Carrie, I don't think I can actually do that.
All right, now watch this. Now, send him an insult via your text.
No. Give it a try. Let me see if I can think of something here.
It's interesting stuff, Carrie. I'm pretty impressed. Oh, okay, I'm getting a text. Eat a... Oh, my God. With your... In your... Lee, that's terrible.
You know, I got to be honest, Carrie. That is a lot easier.
Jesus.
Wow.
You see? It's a real problem for the youth of today.
Oh, wait. I just got a text from Paul. Take a what? My mother... Paul, you don't even know my mom.
Yeah, but I don't feel as guilty keeping a distance through the phones.
But I'd like to talk a little bit more about our 2013 program. And
Okay, again, Lee, what are you doing?
No, that's me. I wanted in on it.
Oh, Jesus, at 2?
one or two examples should just be enough to...
All right, shove a up your... Ouch! Okay, until you puke up. And the thing... Jesus, Jamie, what the hell is wrong with you?
It was super easy to do. She's right.
Okay. Like I said, one or two examples of how you can...
Uh-oh. Okay, I have a text from Paul now. Fold your own, oh, God, until it's all sharp corners. And then, so you can't, without a... Damn, Paul.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Oh, well, now this one's from Lee. What did I even do to you?
Yeah. Read it.
Fold my... Oh, okay. Until it's inside out. And then... And then bury yourself in a pile of hay until it grows a cock tree.
That's what you get for razzing Paul there.
So you can all see that it becomes a really vicious cycle. And what parents, I think, really need to know is...
What? They'll take a flying... Paul, you've never even seen an elephant's vagina.
Well,
that is from me, and that's what you get for what you said. Oh, God, who is it now? Pack my... with bubble wrap and run it through a... Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's think about that shit next time you pick on Lee.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, you guys, another important aspect of cyberbullying is that you guys...
All right. Eat a man meat from until it puts the cock in cocktail. Did you make that, Lee? Why?
Hey, look, I can take care of myself when it comes to Jamie, okay? Thanks.
All right,
for
I was trying to get your back.
Stand on my... Oh, Jesus. And make my... shoot until you've earned the name Pistine Chapel.
That's pretty good, actually.
See, I told you I could take care of it.
Will you please stop?
Oh, okay.
We're just...
hang on.
I got one here from here.
Stick
my arm in the hoof.
And operate him like a puppet who's got a...
Here you go, Paul.
That's an interesting
Until
one.
my voice echoes when talking near your
I'll tell you
ass.
what, take a picture of this.
Stop!
What?
That's what you both get.
I said... Stop!
Jesus Christ. Oh
my God.
Damn. Okay, the whole place is kind of turning to crap here.
Didn't mean to bully you,
Okay, Carrie, we apologize if we made you upset or anything.
I didn't even say anything about you.
Oh my God, everything's levitating. Okay, the earth is opening up. Everybody run! Run, get out of the studio, okay? This is for your own safety. We don't have a really good insurance here. Okay, thanks for listening to The Movie Guys, everybody. I've been your host, Paul Preston, individually.